Okay, so today we will discuss on the Git and GitHub. So if you don't have your account yet, so I would recommend that you go ahead and create your own account. It is a free account, so you don't need to pay anything. So once you sign up, maybe I'll show you in a different tab. So this is a sign up page. You provide your username that is going to be a unique one, and then you have an email address and the password. You just make sure that you give the proper details and make a note of those. So once you create your account, then we can work. It will be ready for you to use. Okay. So I'm closing this. We don't need to do the GitHub now. We'll first talk on the Git and then we'll jump onto the GitHub. Okay. So what is Git and GitHub? It is going to be the source code management. So why do we use source code management? So that we can go back to our history. Let's suppose I made some changes and the changes are not good. I want to take all those changes back from the code. So how do I do that? So I have to remember whatever code change I have made and then take them off, right? It's a pain. If it is small one file, yes, you can do that. If it is multiple files, tens of files, hundreds of files, it becomes too complicated to roll back those changes. That's the reason why we use a source code here. So where you can make a change. If it doesn't like it, you can roll back that. You can go back to previous commit. You can also verify what the file status was an year ago as well. That is a luxury that Git provides you. I mean, the source code system provides you. There are many source code systems available like CVS, SVN, or Git. So there are actually two types of source code systems. So we can consider here. So the one is the client server architecture, and another one is a distributed architecture. So what is the difference between these two? The first one, the same routine client server. So where you would be having your server sitting here, right? And then you have a client here. So all the data will actually be stored in the server. And this could be your laptop. So you access your server, you download your data and do the changes and push it back to the server. Okay, that is what the typical client server architecture, right? So what if there is no network connectivity? So you have been working on, there is suddenly the network connectivity is gone. So what happens? You cannot access your source code. You wanted to make the changes, but you cannot do it now. First thing. Another thing is, so what this entire server is crashed. You lose your source code, right? This is the advantage and disadvantage of your client server architecture. So in the client server architecture, you have centralized data, so where everyone can access. If this goes down, no one can access it. It's a typical scenario. Now, whereas distributed, it is going to be distributed across everyone. So let's suppose this is my laptop, and this is my laptop, and this is another developer laptop. So we have a source code sitting in his laptop. So once he does changes, if he wants to share his changes, he can also share with this guy. He can also share with this guy. I mean, they can all share each together. So if this laptop is gone, I mean, the person, user, developer, whoever is working on, the developer is quit the company. There's no problem. So you still have data here and data here. And also, since it is storing in your laptop, you don't need to wait for the any network interruptions if there is any to be restored, if there is any connectivity issue to be solved. So you don't need to wait for all those because everything is stored in your laptop. So you can work on whenever you want and then you make the commit. So why people like the distributed architecture is, so in the client server, you always have to be connected to the company network. They are distributed, you don't need. You take your source code in your laptop, you go on vacation in front of the beach, you'll start working on it over there. You don't need to be in the office. So once you are done with the changes, we can come and share it with your other colleagues. That is the advantage of distributed architecture, right? And also, so now I have 3 developers, which are fine, so they can share the code. So how about hundreds of developers and different modules? It becomes a bit too complicated to maintain. So you don't know who is having exact code, right? So let's suppose something is running in production, Amazon.com. So if it is running means someone has developed the code. So which code is actually running in the production? How do you determine that? If it is client server, you know whatever server is has, it is being deployed. But now you have different code in different laptops, different features. So you don't know, right, which one has running. So here there is a concept also, centralized repository. Centralized mean it is going to be keep your source code in centrally. So if new developer joins the company with his laptop, so he also needs to download his stuff, right? So he will talk to a centralized repository and then downloads the data, I mean the source code. He makes the changes. So once he's done with the changes, he'll again commits to push it back to a centralized repository. So now this become a common place for all developers to make the changes and make it available to everyone. Cool. So in the centralized repo, so either you can use a Git or you can use GitHub or Bitbucket. You just need a hosted repository. Hosted means it is just going to make your source code centralized. And whatever you have in laptop here and here, these are all your clients. Again, it looks like a client server architecture only, because where you have entire data sitting in centralized repository, which is a server, and you have your client in each and every laptop. Okay, so this is the main centralized, distributed and the client server architecture. So Git uses distributed architecture, so where the source code can sit in any of the laptop. Okay, so now let's go ahead and first discuss on the Git. So Git is a client that you need to install in the laptop. So when you join the company also, so you are going to install the Git client. So we don't need to worry about, because we already installed this. If you go to the git-scm, so you will see a download option here. So which you guys have already been downloaded this software, the Git bash you use, right? The same Git bash you have downloaded already. So you don't need to re-download this. Okay. So now let's work on the few commands in the Git. So you go to your Git bash terminal. Okay. You go to your Git bash terminal here. Let me make it screen bigger a little bit. So yeah. So I mean, let's assume you are logged into a Git bash. Okay. So choose one directory. So where you are going to keep all your source code data. Okay. So now I'm actually in my directory. So I'm going to documents. Oh, sorry, it's already exists, right? So I go to documents here. I'm going to create a directory called my gits, just for an easy purpose. Okay, so I am inside here. Okay, so now I am going to create the repositories. Okay, so in Git there is no such like databases or something we need to be installed to make a repository. It's a simple directory in the Linux machine or a simple folder in a Windows machine can be converted as a Git repository. Okay, so now I'm going to create a first Git repository. Okay, it is going to be Git because now we are using Git, right? So we need to always use a command called Git followed by init. Init means initialize. So we are initializing one repository. Okay, so what is the repository name you want to use? Okay, I would say first repo. You see, initialized empty Git repository in first repo.git. Okay, so where are we now? So this is the important because many people do mistake here. So after initializing the repository, you have to go inside the repository. Okay, so I am still here, my gits, where I have kept all my repositories just like a directory. So now I want to go, I have to go to inside this repository. So don't miss this part. I have seen many people, they initialize the repository and they start executing the git commands. Okay, don't do that. So now you have to go to inside the git repository here. So here you can execute the commands. So if I do ls-latr, I see .git here. What is this .git? So this .git represents thus the folder or directory which you are currently in is now a Git repository. That's it. Okay, so no databases, no nothing. The simple directory can take care of everything. Okay, so let's go
So
ahead and inside it. Yeah,
the first repo is the what? I mean, I didn't understand. Like git init first repo is like initialization or
yeah. This is the Git command init.
okay,
So init is
okay,
actually a command, and there's a
okay,
repo name I have given here.
okay. So you're
Repo name.
like initializing the first repo. I
Mhm.
mean the directory first repo, and is it? That's what it means, right?
Yeah, we
Yes.
just created the directory here.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, so we created the directory and then we initialized it. So this command will create the first repo directory and then initialize this directory as a Git.
okay, okay.
Okay. So
So
if
the
you
dot git.
mhm,
Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
So the dot git will be like automatically created, right? Like when we give the git init first repo.
Yes,
Okay. In first repo, it will get created.
yes. So I'll come down, I'll come back. Okay. So now
Okay.
I am in my directories. Okay, where I kept everything in one location, right? So I am going to create another directory. The
Okay.
directory name is second repo. See, I
Okay.
used git init here. Here I'm just using make dir.
Yeah.
So what this command do? It just creates a
Create.
directory, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I go inside the second repo and do ls minus lhtr, what I see? Nothing.
Mhm.
So it means this directory is not a git repo because I don't see .git here.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to convert this directory as a git repo, then you need to go inside the directory and then execute just git init. If you don't pass another argument, then git considers the current directory in which you are in. So it assumes that I need to convert the current directory as a git repository. Then it converts the second repo in which you are in as a git repository. You
Okay.
can do both ways. So one way is
Okay.
if you don't have a directories, you can execute first command git init first repo. This will create the directory and then convert that directory into a git repository. Whereas the second scenario, I created my directory first and then I am converting this directory as a git repository by going inside the directory and running the simple just git init command followed by no other parameters, no other arguments. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Mm. So
So
we're
I'll
just
come back. Uh-huh.
like putting two steps into one when we say git init first repo, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So now I am inside the first repository. This is my thing. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what do we have in .git. because .git is a directory, right? So I'm inside the directory now. See, there are some files are already created. You have config, objects, head, refs, branches, so on. So, okay. So the thing you need to consider here is the config. Let's see what do we have in the config. So it has some details like, so these are all going to work on your Git whenever execute the commands, right? So this config will be applied. We don't need to worry about this. Come out and then go back. So make sure that you're always in the root directory. Okay, perfect. So this is good. So what is that now? So we create a repo. What is the next step? Now we need to work on our source code, right? So let's create our first source code. So I'm going to create my a simple shell script. Let's assume we are a shell script developers. So I'm going to make the change now. Bin sh for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I is equal to I plus 1, 2. So you can do anything. Duration $I. Done. This is your simple source code. Okay. So if you run this, it is working fine, right? We have just written a normal source code. So let's check the files. ls1 is lat here. Now I have .git and fur.sh. Okay. So now our responsibility is to inform Git that, okay, so this file is now a part of the source code file. So we need to track this. Track means so Git is going to make a note of like what changes you have done, when you have done, who has done, what are the differences between previous and the new one. So that Git is going to track, because that is what we need, right? Because if I make some changes today and tomorrow I made some more changes and day after tomorrow I made some more changes. So now I wanted to see what the file was on day before yesterday. So Git should know, right? This is how the state was, and this is how state tomorrow. This is how the state is day after tomorrow, like that. So we need to inform the Git now. So before doing that, before informing Git to track, we need to introduce ourselves, because Git should know, right? If I say Git commit, okay, who committed that? Who are you first? So that Git knows, okay, this is the author and his email ID is this. So in case something goes wrong, Git will show you that, okay, this is the guy at this time with this email address has made some changes. Go and talk to this guy. This is what Git is going to provide the information for us. Okay. To do that, we need to inform first, that is going to be git config. We can use global. Global is going to set at entire system level, laptop level, which is fine. Now user dot email. Okay. So already I have the email configured. So it is showing me this. If I don't have it, it will ask you to enter the details, or you can also do like this. Git email user dot email. You are going to give the email address here. Okay, hit the enter. It is set. Now you need to introduce your name as well. User dot name. What is the name you are going to provide? Okay, this is how you do it. The first commands, very first. So whenever you install the Git, make sure that you perform these two commands without fail. If you don't do that, Git will ask you, please introduce yourself. Then we need to execute these two commands. Okay, so now we're done with the Git. Now let's see, we still have .git for sh. Now execute the first Git command to know the status of this repository. It is going to be git status. So git status is giving me some information. So what are the informations? It says on branch master. We'll discuss this. No commits yet. Commits. So what do you mean by commit here? So commit means making change permanent. So like you have favorites. I committed to this guy. I'm committed to that girl. It means we are committed. So no more changes are accepted. The same way here. Committing means making changes permanent into the repository, asking Git to store it. And the below here is untracked files. What is untracked files? So untracked file means, so Git is not informed yet, track this file. So we just created the file, that's it. But we haven't informed Git to make sure that you track this file. So whatever changes are made to this file, you make a note of that. Because in typically, if you are a developer, so we have a Java file and you want to test this, whether it's running properly or not. So when you run it, it is going to create some log files, right? So do you really want to track the log files? Because log files are not going to be part of your source code. So it's a pure output that is being generated by running your test file, right? So we don't track those. So in that case, you don't need to inform Git to track that file because it's a useless, right? You only track the stuff which is important. So now you need to inform. So fur.sh is a part of source code file. So we need to track that. We will do that. So he also gave a some hint here. What is the hint? Use git add followed by file name to include in what will be committed. So if you want to track the file, you need to run this command. And then Git knows that, okay, this is a fur.sh part of the source code file. I need to track it. Fine. Now nothing added to commit, but untracked file present. Perfect. This is what the same message. So now we need to inform Git saying that track this file. The command is going to be same git add followed by which file you want me to track it, fur.sh, right? If I do ls minus lhtr, no more changes. If I do git status, now I got the different output. So before it was no commit set, no commit set. It was showing untracked files. But now it says changes to be committed. It says, okay, now Git is keep an eye on this file. So you have made some changes. I'm tracking that file, but you haven't committed. So why there are two things here. So first, we need to inform Git to track it, and then we need to commit it. There are some chances that we just have a lot of files and we edit it, we inform Git to track, but they are not permanent yet because we still need to make some changes. Maybe the work in progress. So work in progress items, you don't commit, right? You commit only the files that are completely working fine. So here we know that the sh is working fine. So we will test one more time sh for.sh output the reader to data.log. So let's see what is coming out here. It is coming perfectly fine, 1 to 10. Okay. Again, if I do git status now, I have two now. Changes to be committed because we added this file as a tracking. Again, this is untracked file because it's a new file, right? We just got created. Data.log. So we don't need to, this is not part of our source code. It is just like an output. So we don't need to track this. So let's ignore that one. So now I have this file. Now I'm going to make it commit. Git commit is the command. Okay, and hit the enter. When you hit the enter, you get the screen again. So here we need to provide proper commit information. Remember, this is highly recommended that whenever you want to make some changes permanent, that is commit, you should provide a proper information. Because in a previous history, if you go back to your commits and you want to know which commit is for what, by looking at this message, you can easily understand. Okay, so don't just put blah 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 like this. You always give a proper message. So this message is, this is my first for loop script. Okay, iterates from 1 to 10. Okay, this is a message. Now I save and quit. Now it says one file changed, 4 insertions, create mode, done. So now if I do git status, what it says, on branch, only this untracked file, because we don't want to track it, right? So I can remove this, done. Now if I do git status, see, nothing to commit. Everything is clean. Working tree is clean. So now we made changes permanent. So how do you know? How do you confirm that the changes are permanent? That the commit you have done is actually part of that. The command we execute is git log. So git log is going to show you the details. You see, author. This is the author with this email address on this date. He made this commit. That is a commit ID, which is going to be a unique one. What is the message? This is my first for loop script, iterates from 1 to 10. Okay, that is the reason why we always put the proper message. And the reason we introduce ourselves is because of this. Git config dash dash global user dot name, git config dash dash global user dot email. Okay, perfectly fine. Now make some more changes. Again, I'm editing the file. I'm adding one more condition. Okay, if $I is equal to 5. So let's say is equal to 5. Okay, then print this is 5. Okay, and then you would say just close it. So you looks, this code is perfect, right? Now let's close it and save it. You run this s.sh. This is 5, perfectly working fine, right? So now you make the changes, git status. Now it says different changes not staged for commit. What is this again? So we first got the untracked files and then we said that is not committed. Now it is saying not staged. What are all these? Why there are so many different types available? It's very clean, very easy. So how do we understand this is? So this is how you understand this. So here, so this is your directory. Okay, this is your directory where you are in Git repository. Okay, so first step, if it is a new file, okay, you would inform it the Git. First, you need to inform the Git, do this, right? And then you make a commit. Okay, so now third step. So you already have a file. The Git is tracking that. You made some changes, right? What that file state is now. The file status is this. You have edited already committed file. That's called stage. So in the Git, there is a concept of this. So you have a directory and you have a staging area and you have a repository here. Okay, this is called your working directory. This is called staging. This is called commit. So this staging one is like a virtual. You don't see it actually. You can feel it. Okay, so now if you have 10 files, so you have 10 files, 1, 2, 3 files. So you are working on some source code. So that source code need to be edited 2 files. So two files you need to edit in order to complete the feature on which you are working on. The feature means I want to develop my UI. I want to add 2 tabs in it. So first tab is going to be home. Second tab is going to be index. For that, you need to edit 2 files. Okay, so you made changes to 1 file. So you made changes, right? So you can stage it here. So you can stage it means you are keeping it aside. You are not committing it. because you are just keeping it aside. It is like when you go to buy some clothes, maybe saris, right? So you're not going to buy the one which you like, right? You like, you look 100, you pick 10, you keep 10 aside, but you are going to buy only one. Again, you choose the one, right? So what about those 10 you kept aside? In a Git concept, we call it as staging. Staging means I want to commit this, but before commit, I need to keep them in a staging. Now you make changes to second file also. So you're done with the change. You add that file also to staging. So now you are good with the changes, and then you make a commit. Now you make the change permanent. That is what the staging here. The reason why we do staging here is if you have hundreds of files that you need to edit. So rather than keeping all 100 files in working directory, whichever files you completed, you move them into stage so that you don't need to work on those files. You can easily make the difference. So you can work on remaining files. So once you are done, you can keep all the files in staging and then you make one commit directly. So if you commit each and every file 100 times, it becomes too complicated. So if you want to go back to previous stage, so you need to go back of 100 commits, which is pain, right? So that's why you make all your files changed, keep them in staging, and then you make one a big commit. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
A question back. So actually, in software field, they are saying like deployment time. Before deployment, we have to go for the staging. That one is, and this one is both the same.
No, no, that is different. That is about the environments. We will
Okay.
discuss that in the Ansible or in the Jenkins.
Oh, okay.
It's like a source coding. Source coding, this Git has that feature, staging feature. So we add them in staging and then we make the commit.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool, no problem. So I have this file now, Git status giving me this. So now I need to add that. So Git add, oh, sorry. So I used, you see, dot here. So what this dot is for? I said in before commits that we need to use the git add followed by the file name, right? So here, where is that? So git add followed by the file name. But here I used dot here. So dot means all the files. So whatever files are currently modified, you want to stage all of them, then we use the dot here. If it is one file, you can use one file. If it is all the files, then you put the dot here. Okay. Now git status, it changes now, changes to be committed. Now I need to commit the change permanently. Okay, so if you don't like whatever you have made here, because if you do vim followed sh, it shows double equal here, but typically we need to use minus eq, the string, right? So you realize that is a mistake you have done. Okay, so now if you do git status, it says already staged but ready to commit. So if you execute git commit, this will be committed, the file, but you want to make the changes. Now let's make a change. Git for.sh. I made the change EQ and saved it. Okay. I do git status. Now you see what happened. So before making the changes, the git status was showing only in a green color, and green means to be committed. So I made the changes to the same file and then I did git status. It is now showing two different changes. The reason is now you are technically seeing two different files here. The first file, this is your working directory, right? You staged, and this is your repo. Okay, so you have a fur.sh file. You have added 1 to 10 lines. You added to stage, and then you added another line. So this change is still in this only. So if you commit, the commit will only read whatever you have here will be committed to here. This is permanent. So if I do vi on this file, you can only see the working directory. This is a working directory. So you don't see the contents of what you have staged. Stage means you already kept it separate. You don't see that. If you execute git commit, only these changes will be considered for the commit. So whatever new line you have added will not be considered because it's a new change. You haven't staged it. So if you want to commit something, you need to always stage it first. Okay. So now I have two different because after staging, I made some more changes, which technically happens because you made some changes. So now you are realizing that I did some mistake. Now I need to edit it. Perfectly fine. So how do you do that again? You need to do the same git add again. So now add more changes as well. If I do git status, only one. Clear? So now whatever file you have made changes is now added to the stage. Okay, we haven't committed it. Let's wait. Now make some more changes to the same file. Now I'm adding else part. Else this is not fine, right? Save it. Do git status. So when you see this, so now you want to know what you have in staged, what you have in your current directory. To do that, you need to execute the command called git diff. It clearly says there is some command. No, okay. Git diff. So git diff is going to show you the difference. The difference is you have a file A, file B. It's the same file name. So you have added plus means this. So in the current working directory, you have these two lines extra compared to stage. So if you make a git commit, these two will not be considered because these are not staged yet. You don't need to worry about the git diff. You may not execute this, but just for information only. The only commands you execute is git add and then git commit. That's it. Okay, the remaining comments are for your knowledge. And of course, git init as well. 3 comments. Okay, so we have seen the changes now. Git status. Okay, so if you don't like the changes you have made or these changes, you can do, don't forget. So now I'm going to add that one as well. Git add, git status, and git commit. Git commit minus M. So here you can execute just git commit and wait for the window, or you can also pass minus M parameter with the message here itself. Okay, so you can say added if condition to verify the file. See, so you can simply execute git commit also, but minus M parameter will help you to add the message in the command itself so that you don't get that window in one single line. So if I do git status, everything is clean. So whatever you see here is now in the repository. So let's go back and do git log now. You see 2 commits. The first commit, this is my first commit script, and this is my second commit. Okay.
We are writing
Yeah.
a code in Vim and Bash, that is repository, right?
No, the script is source code. You can pick Java, you can pick C, Python, shell, and script. But how you are protecting that source code is part of the Git.
So we are running through Git. So we are
Yes,
giving a command Git and whatever commands we are using and open the Vim and writing the code. So that is called repository for these things, these two, right?
yes. So whatever you are writing here, right? It is like your typical writing shell script, like source code you are writing.
Mhm.
So you have written the source code. So now you want to protect the source code. Whatever changes are made, I want to keep a track of every change. So for this for.sh, I made the first change and then I made another change. Now I am going to add some more changes.
Okay.
So you are tracking the change to your file.
So
That is,
tracking the file, it is called repository.
yes. So let's suppose, let's talk about Excel sheet. So we know Excel, right? Everyone works on Excel.
Yeah.
So let's assume, so we are a company. We are all working in one company. We are maintaining one Excel sheet to track the salary. So
Okay.
everybody is having salary. Let's assume everybody is getting 100K, 150K. Okay. So now I know that I'm a HR. Let's assume HR. So we are maintaining a salary sheet in Excel. So I know that Sangam is having 120K per annum salary. And I know that the top most salaried is Rani. So she is having 150 something. Okay.
Mhm.
So now we have these salaries. So I know that we have a top and we have a less. So Sangam sees. So Sangam says, I am just only 120. So now I go ahead and make the change. He made the changes himself to 160. But
Oh,
I don't know, right? Because I have so many people. I cannot remember each and everyone's salary, right? So next day I come and I see. So whatever salary is listed, I pay it, right? But I suspect something. But I know the topmost is Rani, but how come now Sangam is showing up here?
so
Now
we
I
can't
want to know who made the
remember, right?
change. Yeah, I can't remember. Now I know who made the change. Why made the change? How can I track it? Now, like Sangam, some other also, maybe Shravya would have done something in the salary. But how would I know? How can I go back to the previous changes? Can you go back? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, can you go back to the previous commits? Can you see your what the file status was before?
Yeah, we have to use the commands and change it.
Nope, we don't have an option. So that is the reason why we use the source code. So if you keep that Excel in the source code, right? So whatever is committed in the repo will be considered as a proof, valid proof. So if Sangam made some changes, so he updated his salary, he added the message and committed.
Oh,
And then I come here and so git log. So in the git log, I see, okay, Sangam has made some change at this time. I'll go and talk to Sangam. Hey, Sangam, why did you make that change? He say, I just wanted to be a high salaried guy. It's a mistake, right?
yeah.
Then, so I can easily roll it back. I can know, okay, this guy did the mistake. Then I can take action against him. Of course, I cannot take, but in
So
general.
we already committed means no one can change us, right? In our
No, no,
account, Lokesh.
yeah. So once committed, you can see the track. Who made the change? When made the change? What made the change?
Okay. We
Yeah.
will get
So I have this one, right?
update.
So added if condition. So now I want to see the difference between this commit and this commit. Okay. So for that I can just do git diff this commit ID and then this commit ID. See, I can see that someone else added these lines. So whoever added these lines, so who added this guy? At what time? This. If I want to reach this guy, I can use his email address and say why you have added these changes. Now I can easily make it.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
That's about
Thank you.
the source code. So shell script is different. You can pick any programming language. So how you want to track changes to your source code, that we are talking here in the Git.
Yeah, this is repository. So,
Yes.
you're in between. You're telling about staging, right?
Staging is just like keep your things in a separate place. So you have hundreds of files and you have worked on 2 files. Your those 2 files are good to be committed. So you add those files to staging first.
So we have to keep it in a folder and
No
any
folder,
directory.
only one
Any di-
directory. You have just only one directory. You just use the command git add. So
Okay,
git
that is
add
it.
means so this file is ready for the commit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Mhm. So we made some changes. So we have seen the differences now between the commits. So if you think so this commit is bad, you can also roll back to this commit. So you can delete all the changes of this commit. So whatever changes they have made, you can delete those and go back to previous easily with the git revert command, I think. Wait, deleted by them. Git log. I'm just seeing the git revert commit. Yeah, ignore that git revert. So let's do more commits now. So I have the git history here. If I do vim for.sh, I see the changes as it is. That's what about your files. Okay, simple. Git commit, git status, and the git log. Okay, so now let's discuss a bit about branching. What is branching and why do we use it? Okay, so branchings are like in a tree branch. So you have tree, right? So tree also has a main root. Not root, what do you call that? I don't know, that the big thing, and it has a branches. The same thing in Git also, we have a concept called branching. That is very important. So what is this branches and why do we use it? Okay, now the branching is this. So you have your master branch. What is this master branches? So now they are renaming from master to main in recently. So you would be hearing in the previous videos are master. So because of this the movement, that Black Lives Matter movement, right? So there are some offensive language they have removed from the some famous tools and technologies. So now you don't see master anymore. You may see main in the Git. Okay, so both are same only, but terms are different. Okay, so you might be seeing still master in some repos showing you main branch, but don't get confused, both are same. Okay, so now we'll go back to only master only because you may see this more, the main it to evolve. So let's assume you have a master branch. So master branch is going to be the main branch you would be keeping in your repository. Okay, so this master branch, let's assume master branch. Okay, so now I want to make the changes. So technically, we don't make changes directly in the master branch. Why? That is because of master branch will be used, whatever source code is there, it is always work. I mean, it's workable, it's always working. It doesn't have any bugs. So whatever your code is currently running in the production, the same source code is actually being used here in the master branch. Okay, so here we need to create another branch. This is called the your feature branch. So you can call the development branch. So what the difference between these two? So these two means you make commits here, you make commits here, you make commits here. Commit means you are going to make the changes. So why do you make the changes? Because you have received a task from your team lead, your manager, to make some changes. There's a feature enhancement, maybe bug fixes. You are working on that. So you would create your own branch. The reason behind is if there are 10 developers working, then there's a chance that they cross each other commits, each other code. So if you take your branch separately, no one else would make changes to your source code. So whatever commits you are making, they all belong to you only. So once you see that your code changes are working fine, then you merge with the master. It's a bit difficult concept. I'll explain one more time. So you have your master branch, which I assume as a M master branch, and then you are going to create your development branch. Okay, so this is development branch, and then another developer is also working. He's D1, he's D2. So they created their own branches. Okay, so you made some changes. So let's suppose, so this your master branch contains the source code of 100 files. 100 files are there. Okay, so you here at this here, you made changes to 100 files. I mean one file plus added another file. Okay, and this guy, developer 2, he has taken the code from here where it has just only 100 files. He added two more files. So remember, the base is 100 files. Okay, so D1 changes are made some changes to 100 files plus one added one more file. Whereas D2, he did not made any changes to existing files. Rather, he has just added two more new files. Okay, so since developer is working on the D1 branch, he cannot see D2 changes because D2 is in different branch. He cannot see his changes. And whereas master cannot see the D1 and D2 changes because they are all isolated, separate. They are like going in a 3 different directions. They cannot see each other. So now the developer 1 has made some changes. He thinks his changes are perfect. Then he is going to merge the changes to the master. So now the master branch contains the changes of 100 dash plus 1 because he committed now, right? So now master branch has 100 dash plus 1. Now another developer has created a new branch from the master. From the master. So he would see T3. So since he has created the branch after this commit, then he will be having changes of 100 dash plus 1. That is the latest code. Then he is going to work on his changes. He makes again commit. So he has now 100 dash plus 1, the new file. He has added two more files. See, so when developer 1 is working, right, he worked on his own files. He did not had any conflict. Whereas D2, he also worked on his own files. He has added 2 more files. Whereas D3, he's still working on top of D1 changes, because this branch is created after merging. Merging means now T1 merge the changes with master. Merging means combining together. This becomes a bit difficult to understand. So once we see in action, we'll understand easily. Okay. So this is how the branching works. So now D3 also make the changes. He will also pushes it. On the same way, he will also merge the changes. So all merge the changes here. Now your master contains 100 dash plus 1, and then he added 2 more files plus 2. He added plus 2 files. Totally you have 100 plus 105 files.
So,
So just assume, just think like a potluck. So I'm sure you might have done some potluck, right? So where everybody cooks something at home, brings together and eat one place. The same way. So now our main target is to cook something. So one family picks up one food, second family picks up second food, third family picks up third food. So they make all different. So they don't know each other how they are cooking, right? And at one place, you all join them together. That is what this is. So developer 1, D2, D3 make their own changes. To make the own changes, you need a plan, right? You need some base. So are we cooking for non-vegetarian or vegetarians? Or someone cooking chapati, someone cooking bread, someone buying something, right? The same is here. But thing is here, we're using source code here. So you have a source code. So developer 1 wants to make UI changes. Developer 2 wants to make some backend changes. Developer 3 wants to make integration changes. So you make individually yourself, then you combine them together in the master or integration branches, then you test it again. We will see it in action. Okay. I mean, someone saying something. Sorry.
so like for every change we make, we commit and then we add to the master branch.
Yes.
Is it?
So now let's talk about
Then
some.
we will get the another master one. That means new one. Everyone combined means the old one is done. We will get new master. That means.
No, no, we will have only one master only, but the changes are newly added. We see different commits over there.
Okay.
Yeah, we will see
That
it in
one
action.
same.
Yeah,
The master one is same.
yes, we will see it in action now. So I do the git status now. Okay, so what is this? Okay, let's leave this. So I
Lokesh,
am, yeah,
here we are having git add and git commit. So we
mhm.
are having like command like git delete also.
Yes,
Okay.
we have a git delete. Delete means it deletes the file permanently if you don't want that. We have a git rm.
Okay. Git remove, right?
Mhm,
Oh, not delete.
No, we have a git rm.
Okay.
So now I am opening a new repo. Okay, let's start again for the branches in a new repository. So I have a git status now. It's a completely fatal, not a git repository. What it says, when I do git status, not a git repository, because if I do ls -ls here, I don't see .git here, right? So there is not a git repository. That's fine. So now I am going to convert this as a git repository. I do git init. If I do git status, it's there. So by default, you would have a master branch created. If I do git branch is a command that will show the list of branches we have in the in the repository. Okay, so currently you don't have any branches. If I do git branch minus a, nothing still, because we haven't committed it. Minus a will give all. Okay, so now let's add one Java file. Okay, so I'm going to work on UI. Let's make a proper scenario only. Okay, so now I'm in the second repository. I'm going to create UI directory. I'm going to create a backend directory. I'm going to create integration directory. Okay, so now I have three different modules: UI modules, backend modules, and the integration module. Okay, if I do ls minus lhtr, I see three directories here, right? So now I'm going inside the UI. Okay, I'm going to work on my JavaScript files. Okay, so I would say main.javascript file. Okay, I don't know JavaScript. I just say, hi, this is my JavaScript file. Please understand. This is my JavaScript file. Okay, and then I come back. LA ls minus lhtr. I go to now in backend. I create my Java file as a backend. Okay, this is my Java backend file. Why is so? I added the Java file also, right? Now I go back and go to the integration branch. I'm going to create one more some file. Maybe you would say, I would say Python. No, not os.shell. Yeah, let's assume something. Import. Let's assume this is a Python integration. So now I go back. I came into the main directory. If I do git status, I see three directories. These are all untracked files. Okay, I now track it. Git add dot and git commit minus m. This is my first commit, right? I'm going to do first, or I would say initial commit. Added all required files. So everything is added. If I do git status, everything is same. Okay, this is the working code. Let's assume. So my UI integration backend is working fine. This is what I have in my master. Okay, so now I got a requirement saying that I need to make some more changes to UI. Okay, I need to add one more file. So how do I add it? So I do git log here. This is what the latest commit has made. Okay, I do git branch. I have only one master branch. Okay, so now I need to create a new branch. So the command I need to create is git checkout. Checkout is a command is going to help you to create a branch. Okay, so git checkout, what is the branch name you want to provide? So the good naming convention is feature enhance, because we're working on feature enhancement on which. So some people would be having their user stories. User stories means, so whenever you work on something, you get a tracking number. So that tracking number you can provide here. It can be user story, it can be Jira issue, it can be anything. So let's assume you need to give some random number here. So here we assume ourselves as a developers. Okay, Sangam. Oh, I'm sorry. Git branch. The, to create the branches, working a branch, right? I used misspell. So Git branch feature enhance Sangam. If I do, the branch got created. If I do Git branch now, I have two branches. So feature enhance Sangam and master. Okay. So now I am going to switch to this branch. Currently you see the star here. Star means I am in master branch. I am in master branch. So let's like this. So now I have this thing. This is a master branch. Okay. And then it has one commit, right? So the commit is this. Let me clear this. Yeah. This is the commit, the first commit. Okay. This has 3 files. Okay. So now I created another branch, which is called Sangam. Okay. So this is created from this commit. It means now Sangam and master branch has the same changes. It also has one commit, 3 files. So how do I see that? We need to check out to that branch. Okay, so if you want to go to this branch, copy this, git, check out this branch. Now you see, switch to branch this. So now you are working on Sangam's branch. So like this. So now let's assume like a bucket. You can easily understand. This is now master and this is now Sangam. So this has one commit with 3 files. This also has one commit with 3 files. Okay, so now you are a developer. You are here. You have access to both. Okay, so we just switched. So if I do git branch now, I see the green and the star is pointing to feature. So it means you are currently working on this branch, Sangam branch. Okay, now let's see what I am going to do. So I have UI. I need to work on the UI. I go to the UI. Okay, I need to add some changes. So I'm going to add one more file, test.js. Okay, this is my JavaScript test file. Okay, and I saved it. So whatever changes he wanted to make, he added the file. Okay, I do git status. It says untracked file. So you just added the file. You haven't informed Git to track this file. So I'm going to ask him to track the file. It is now tracking. I want to commit. So I think whatever this file has the changes are perfect. I just need to save this file. So I would do git commit -m, added the test JavaScript file as part of XXXXS feature. Done. Okay. If he says git status, nothing is commit. If we do git log, so initial commit added the test JavaScript file. So he made the commit file. So the file is now successful. Now it has one more commit on top of this. He has added another file plus one file. So before it was one of 3. On top of this, he added plus 1. So now you as a developer, is on Sangam branch, right? If you do git branch, you see Sangam branch. So similarly, so if you are in this jar, what you see here, you see the main files that you have taken as a base. On top of that, you added one more file. You can see those changes. That's the reason you are seeing two commits. Now let's go back to master. Now I am checking out to master. So now switch to branch master. If I do git status, everything is clean. Now if I do git log, sorry, what I'm seeing, only one commit. So here, when I do git log, I saw two commits when I'm in Sangam branch. But now I'm in master branch. When I do git log, I'm just seeing only one commit. See, you are in only one repository, but there are multiple differences. They're logically separated. So if I do ls minus latr, you see only one file. In second repo UI, you just have main.js. We surely added test.js, right, for the test script, but that is in different branch, not in the master branch. So now you are here. So you are pointing to this guy. You can see only this. So here you have made some changes. So you have added plus one file. So now in the same Git repository, you have two branches. So one branch is master, second branch is Sangam. So Sangam branch is ahead of master because Sangam branch is whatever commits you have in master branch plus one more commit. So one more commit contains one file is added, a new file. So now this is how you work on the Git, number of branches. So in the company also, when you join the company, so if you have 4 developers working on your Git repository, so if someone asks you to make some changes to shell script, so you don't directly make changes to master. Rather, you make changes first to your branch. It is a separate branch which you created. So first you need to create your own branch, and then we need to make the changes. So once you think that your changes are perfectly working fine, then you need to merge it. You need to merge changes to master. So now let's see how we are going to merge our changes. So you are seeing difference, right? So maybe let me open another window. We can do the changes side by side. So let me bring up another window here. I go to the documents, my gits, second repo, right? Clear. Clear, right? So I am in which branch? Master. And here I am in also master. Let me check out to Sangam branch. Feature, enhance, Sangam. Okay, git branch. See, here I am in master, here I am in Sangam. Okay, if I do git log, so Sangam has two commits, whereas master has what? Did I merge the change? Oh no, there is a problem. You gets changed immediately. You cannot use it. Got it. Because Git is actually centralized. Git actually works on file system, right? So once you change the branch in one window, it immediately impacts on the directory level. So whichever window you have opened, it gets changed the branch. See, I changed to uh, checkout to this branch, right? Sangam branch. So here also got changed automatically. So you may not see the difference here. Okay, so let's assume. So we are in Sangam branch. I have 2 commits here. Yeah, let me check out to master here. Git log. I have only 1 now. Okay, so let's merge the changes. So how do you merge it? Git merge, git merge. So which branch you want to merge? Feature, enhance, Sangam branch. You see, fast forward, merge successfully. So if I do git log, now you see both commits and you are in master branch. So if I do ls-latr, now you see the test.js file also. So now technically what we have done here is, so you have the master branch. It has 1 commit with 3 files, and then you created another branch. You made some changes here, added 1 more file, 3 files plus 1 file, and then you merge the changes here. So now your master branch contains 3 plus 1. So here we don't talk about number of files, because just to make you understand, I have taken the files as an example, but here we always talk on the commit IDs. Okay, so commit IDs means you have a master. So your commit ID is now is, let's say, A. Commit ID is A. You have another branch called Sangam branch. You made another commit. It becomes now B. Commit B. Okay, so commit B means A plus changes. A plus 1 changes is equal to B. Okay, so then you merge the changes here to the master branch. Now here also commit becomes B. And then someone else have taken a branch, maybe Prakash. So he has taken from this commit or this commit. So if he takes from B commit, then he will have the commit number B here. He make changes C. Okay, so now in meanwhile, Sangam continued to make some changes. So his commit is now D. So Prakash will have B and new change C. Master has only A and B. Sangam has B and D. Okay, so if he merges changes now C, now master will become C the latest. Now Sangam decided to merge his changes. Now what happens? So the master will says your branch is behind, because so till here, till B both are same. So Sangam has made changes on B plus D, but master has another commit from another developer C. So that C is missing, right? That C is missing. So again, your master will ask you to pull the changes. You pull the changes and you make C plus D here, and then you push it. Then it works. This all about Git in build concepts. You may understand this clearly when we work on the GitHub. Okay, so you will understand this clearly when we work on the GitHub. So Git client, you may work less but not more. But knowing Git client is bit important. You mostly work on the GitHub. So GitHub will give you a complete UI, complete UI. There is no CLI at all. I mean, there is now CLI. There is a GH CLI available, but less people use that. It's a new one. But GitHub is completely UI, which you can work it on. So if you don't understand the branching concepts here on the GitHub, you will easily understand. Okay. So whatever now the Git commands you have learned, that is perfect for you to work on the Git client. But once you start the GitHub, then you will understand how this branching strategy works. How do we merge it? All the you can see in a UI with the eyes. Then you can easily understand it. Clear? Any doubts?
So in real time, we are committing all the changes and all and through GitHub only, right? Not
Yes.
through Git Bash.
Mhm. So we just wanted to understand how the Git actually works in behind. So if I say you need to click this, you need to click this. Okay, why you are clicking this? What's happening over there? So then if you understand this, okay, this is the merge. Merge means you have different commits. So now we need to merge the changes. We need to create the branches. This is how the branches gets created. This is how we see the different changes. So that part. Okay, so we will discuss on the GitHub in the next class. I think we'll take a stop now on the Git client today. There are various commands available in the Git client. So you don't, I would say you don't need to learn all those, but it's good to have. It's good to know. So we have a Git push, Git pull as well. So that I will discuss when we work on the GitHub. Okay. So in the next class, we will discuss on the GitHub. So GitHub, we will have an account created, then we create one organization, then we create multiple repositories, and we'll work together like collaborating on each other's code. Then you will clearly make a picture. This is how the GitHub works in a company. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Right. So GitHub we'll discuss in next Saturday.
Yeah. You said that
Hmm?
you will be taking classes like during the weekdays also. I
Yeah,
mean,
so I will post, I'll ping in the WhatsApp and let's see. I think Prakash has some concerns. I'm not sure
okay.
about others. So if it is a weekday, probably I need to start during the morning hours. So I'm not sure whether you have kids. I mean, some people may have kids and they need to arrange for their kids' schooling, right? So I don't know.
Okay.
So if it fits for everyone, then yes, we can go ahead. If not, then we need to think on other timings.
Okay.
Mhm. Cool. Any more doubts?
Yeah. Thank
Cool then. So I will ping in WhatsApp and let's see what everyone says. If everybody is fine in one timing during the holiday season, then we should be good.
Morning, it's difficult.
Difficult, right? I think in the when the during
I too. We have kids.
no in
No,
the
we
during
are
the
good with
holidays, right?
evening. Yeah,
Okay,
but still,
okay. We will
evening
take
is good
which.
for us.
Mhm.
At least my
Yeah.
husband
So
will be taking care in the during my class for the evening. So
no, actually the holidays, right? So the kids also don't have a school. So I mean, it's up to you guys how you want to feel comfortable. Okay, I'll post in the
you.
WhatsApp
Yeah.
and see how do we discuss the morning or evening.
yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Then
Okay.
bye.
Thank you.
yeah. Bye.